Hello and welcome. What we want to speak to and demonstrate today is a solution developed by both ServiceNow and ProV International that enables higher education entities such as yourself to digitize facilities management, achieving an increase in productivity and accuracy, as well as driving self-service using ServiceNow as both a system of action and a single source of record. There are a few areas we would like to begin with. Starting on your left, you'll see a number of components you'll recognize that fall into the sphere of higher education and higher education facilities management. You'll see things there like lighting, plumbing, waste management, residential life services, and classroom break fix, all things that affect higher education facilities. We will get into detail on a few of those components shortly, and for now what we want to do is bring your attention to the right side of the page, where you'll see some common business challenges within facilities management. Through the use cases demos today, we'll touch on some key components of those challenges. Those include mobile use, which also includes a virtual agent, and that will assist in addressing some of the generational disparity we see in the marketplace in general. We'll also address a lack of paper or digital record trails and inconsistencies in data and transparency. We will at the same time alleviate some of the things you see on the lower right, which are all manual, contributing to time, which is in turn contributing to your cost. In a nutshell, how do we overcome these business challenges? The way we see it done and working well, in conjunction with ServiceNow, is to automate those workflows and streamline those processes to drive interaction to self-service, as well as using automation to drive both cost and time savings. And we're going to show you how to do that using ServiceNow as both a system of action as well as a single source of record. As to the components of the solution, we're using the ServiceNow platform combined with ProV solutions, which include our Upstart solution. We will get to that a little later in the presentation, but briefly, Upstart is a pre-built solution that includes accelerators. At its core, it's a way to get you, the customer, online and working faster while using the system on a day-to-day, interactive, and immersive basis. In this particular demo, we're focused solely on higher education, and please know that this can vary and be configured to adhere to your standard operating procedures, as these actions and the participants may also vary by institution size. So for example, at a smaller entity, these use cases may be handled by one department, whereas at a larger university, faculty, or campus, and student services may be completely different departments. This is a little bit of a repeat, but some of the things that we're going to target today, you'll see in the list below. And there are certain things to note. Most importantly, that this can be a pre-configured solution with the intent and end result being a solution that will stand alone as a minimum viable product or MVP. Some of the highlights included in the demos are announcements and targeted communication, dynamic scheduling and advanced work assignment, work order process automation, and case lifestyle and tracking, all leading to the end result, which is the right information at the right time with the right resources. To lead into the demo, the first use case you're going to see is for residential life services, and we're going to show that from a student perspective, and it will be done completely on a mobile application. And then we're going to demonstrate classroom break fix, specifically an HVAC component, which will involve a faculty member initiating the activity from a desktop workspace and involve both a dispatcher and an agent, as well as a dashboard so that you can get a feel for what it could be used for both reporting as well as performance analytics. So technically two very different use cases, but with the same result, which is the right person at the right place at the right time. With that said, we'll go through the demo, and then we'll also show you what that looks like from a minimum viable product perspective, as well as a timeline for delivery.
Welcome to the demonstration portion of this session. What I would be showcasing here today will be the facilities management solution based on different personas for a university. To start with our first main audience, we have our student who would be named Adam for this demonstration. The business case for Adam is that he returns back from his university to his dorm room and realizes that his room is really cold. He figured the window is not closing off completely and now needs professional help to fix this as soon as possible. This would now make it a critical issue as his dorm room becomes inhabitable for Adam. The university also provides other services that are also available on the portal, such as booking one-on-one sessions with the faculty, booking a conference room for group discussions, any concerns regarding his payment or class details, and even announcements on events conducted by the university or other students. Moving on to the second audience, we have a faculty member of the university. We have Henry, who is a faculty member and also has access to the portal to raise concerns, ask queries, get clarifications, reserve conference rooms or seminar halls, approve requests from students, etc. that are required for the faculty. For Henry's business case, Henry needs to create a new work order because he pre-checked the seminar hall before his session and noticed that the air conditioning unit is down and has not been working for the past 15-20 minutes. He goes to the portal via his desktop and raises a work order. The third persona here is Simon, who is our dispatcher and also the facility manager for the university. He keeps an eye on all the work orders being created by Adam and Henry. He makes sure that they are taken care of. If the university facilities are in good condition. He also has access to agent schedules, understanding their skill sets, if there's any invoice and vendor management requirements, inventory and part managements, and so on. Facilities managers are solely responsible for the maintenance of assets within the university for its students and faculties and other employees to use. A final and the fourth persona is the field agent. They are responsible for resolving all work orders assigned to them, create any new work orders if required. And in this case, we have two field agents, Fen and Matt. Both of them have very different skill sets and have very different parts available in their stock rooms, which basically means their personal vehicle. In case of shortage of any part, we would show how either Fen or Matt has the capability to access nearby warehouses or locations with the parts they are searching for. Now going back to our first business case, which is how Adam can create a work order easily through his phone, and we will also showcase the use of virtual agent or chatbot. Now let's see how it would look for Adam to raise a simple concern or a work order from a portal via his phone. As a workflow for the first business case, we have Adam returning to his dorm room to realize his room is very cold and needed immediate attention to fix the window that was not closing properly. He opens his mobile phone and opens the university portal and takes help from the virtual agent. The virtual agent then guides him through a series of questions and guides him to create a work order. The work order created is automatically assigned to agent Fen because Fen has the skills, parts, and he's also close to the location and also is available at the time requested by Adam. Fen then gets notified on his mobile app as this is a critical issue and needs immediate attention. He scrolls through the details of the work order and accepts the work order. He then starts to travel to the location and calls up Adam to let him know that he is nearby and provides an ETA. He starts looking at the issue, takes some guidance from knowledge article and closes the work order. Just as a final step and confirmation, he gets the signed document from Adam, which will then be attached to the work order for reference. So now I am Adam, our student who has access to the university portal, specifically designed for students. He has access to all the services university offers him, like I mentioned before, any clarifications or questions through the services, access to the student handbook through knowledge, new events and announcements conducted by the university or students, and the last is the email directory. This just provides them information on email IDs or faculties or other students and other important email information. Now moving on to our business case, which is to create work order via virtual agent or chatbot. I'm going to click on this button here. It basically opens and asks you questions relevant and important to create the work order so that it can be assigned to the right agent with the right skill and the right part. Virtual agent here is now understands natural language. So all Adam has to put is window. The virtual agent pushes information saying DOM maintenance request is what you need to create. We're going to click on DOM maintenance request. Since it's a window issue, we're going to click on window. Now that we know it's an open and a close problem of the window, we're going to click on window hinge issue. We've also provided a knowledge article just so that if there is any case that can be self-resolved by Adam, it can be resolved through the knowledge article. But since this requirement needs professional help, knowledge article will not be able to help in this situation. So we're going to click on no. Here now it asks for detailed information about the issue. The next step is going to ask for an image. So we're going to skip for this for now. The reason why image helps is so that the technicians can have direct access into what parts are required, probably before he travels to the location. So now since this is a critical issue, I'm going to say that I'm available now. And the work order will be created directly. So now to move on to the work order, we can see that all the work order information is available in the additional comments or the comments below. And we have seen that Fen, the field agent, has been assigned directly to this case. We have used the configuration of dynamic scheduling or automation using ServiceNow, which basically takes information of what part, what is the issue, and whether Fen has the right skills to perform it. Now, this is where we have Adam and Fen that has direct transparency and information flowing between them. So just to show this information and feature, I'm going to type in and say, please call me before you reach. My number is. And this information will now be available for Fen to access it. Now, the next person for this business case is to see the step-by-step resolution steps for Fen that he needs to follow. So this is the mobile application. We're going to click on My Work, where he gets to see all his work orders that are assigned to him. This is the work order that was created by Adam. Fen is going to start looking into every information that is provided. He sees whether there is any additional comments. He sees if there is any parts that is required for this. Since there is nothing that needs to be done pre-hand, he's going to accept this work order since it's a critical issue. He's going to start travel. Now that he started traveling, he's going to call Adam and let him know beforehand that he has reached the dorm room. So once he's entered Adam's room, he starts looking at the issue. And since he knows that this is a hinge issue, he's going to look at the knowledge article that's available. This knowledge article gives you step-by-step instruction on how to fix a hinge issue for a window. Once he's used the knowledge article and completed the work order, he's going to close the work order, completed, and he's going to close the task. Now, just to get Adam's approval as well, we're going to get a signature from Adam to confirm that the work order is completed. This signature will now be attached to the work order, and Simon, the dispatcher, as well as the facilities manager would have access, as well as the field agent manager. For the workflow of the second business case, we have 3 personas involved in business case 2. Henry created a work order when he realized the air conditioning unit was down. He then would open the university portal from his desktop and opens the services provided by universities for him. He then opens the request for HVAC services. He describes the issue in detail and submits the form. When a work order is created for such scenario, We would then help block out the seminar hall for any further booking, and communications would be sent across stating that the seminar hall is closed for maintenance. In this scenario, we have Simon, our dispatcher or facilities manager, who gets notified that a work order is pending. He uses the workspace to easily drag and drop the work order to the right technician with the right skills and also the part to help close out the work order as soon as possible. He now sees that Matt is available for this work order and assigns it to him. At this point, Matt, a field technician who's a third persona for the business case, receives a notification for this work order. He reviews it and accepts it. He realizes that he does not have the part on him for repairing this unit and sources it from a nearby warehouse. After picking up the asset or unit, he now travels to the location and begins to work. Just before closing out the work order, he needs to complete a checklist and use the part. He now closes the work order. But while performing the checklist for the unit, he sees that the copper wire is overused and needs immediate replacement. He opens the QR scanner to scan the tag and raises a work order beforehand and flags it as immediate attention so that this issue is fixed before the unit fails again. This shows the proactive feature capability in ServiceNow. This work order either gets directly assigned using automation or dynamic scheduling, or gets assigned to Simon, who can assign it to the right agent. As seen before with Adam on the university portal, Henry the faculty also has their own specific portal with relevant services. Now for the second business case, where Henry finds the seminar hall that he booked has the air conditioning unit down, he opens a request for the HVAC unit. Here, we could show all the top services provided or the most services used as part of the portal, like faculty booking, assist with payroll, buying and paying, etc. Going back to the HVAC request, here you can see that most of the information are auto-populated, and all Henry has to do is describe the issue that is related to the HVAC unit. Once he submits the form, we can see that a case gets created for this requirement, and then automatically a work order also gets created based on this case. All the information related to the request is now available for Henry to check. The HVAC unit is pre-configured in the backend to be connected to the location, Seminar Hall A. This is pretty much Henry's role to create an HVAC request, and he will be intimated once the HVAC issue is fixed and the seminar hall is open for future bookings. For this case, we are going to use and show the role of dispatcher and how he is able to assign the work order using a dedicated workspace for dispatchers so that he can assign it to the right agent with a simple drag and drop feature. Moving on to our third person for the demo, we have Simon, who plays both facilities manager as well as the dispatcher. The dispatcher would get notified stating that there is a pending work order to be assigned. He opens his ServiceNow platform to view the details. On a side note, the dispatcher has their own report and dashboard section, which can be configured to business needs. Now let's click on the dispatcher workspace. You can notice the work order that is pending dispatch. He looks into the details of the work order. Once we open the work order details, we get the specific requirements for this work order. Example, the task SLA that is involved, the affected CI, also the part required for this work order to be completed. We have configured this work order based on a repeatable template. So in this case, the requirement is cooling issues. The system lets us know that a compressor for carrier will need to be carried before traveling to the location for an agent. Now going back to our work order, we have a field called location. Once we start looking into the details of the location, we see that there is a status named closed. So that means this location is now not available for any future bookings. If we look into the emails, we see that a targeted communication is sent to the respective students and the faculty members for that seminar hall, stating that this seminar hall is under maintenance. Now going back to our dispatcher workspace, Simon knows that Matt is the right agent for this complex issue, and any work related to HVAC units need to be assigned to Matt. He can simply drag and drop this work order to Matt's schedule. We also have different views for work order location and where the agents are currently situated. We have a hybrid view, as well as we have a total map view. Now, as the work order has been assigned to Matt, Matt, he is the right person to be scheduled for this work order because he has the right skills and he has the right part that needs to be set. I have now logged in as Matt on the mobile. He now goes to my work and he starts looking at all his work orders. These are his work orders. Now we are going to look at the work order that was created by Henry. He starts looking into the details of the work orders. Like when is the schedule start, schedule end, the activities. So he sees that Simon was the one who had assigned it to him. He looks at the related parts. He sees that there is an affected CI and there is also a part requirement. Now, once he goes into the part requirements, he sees that there is a carrier HVAC compressor that is required. There is a need of one quantity for this requirement, and the reserve quantity, that means what is in his personal van is 0. So now he would need to source that part from a nearby warehouse. So now going back, we are going to accept this work order. And he's going to start to travel to that warehouse. So now if he needs to search for a part that is close by, he's going to click on find part. He is only eligible for 10 miles radius. So he's going to search for warehouses that are within 10 miles. And you can see that there are 5 parts for the same carrier HVAC compressor at this particular location. So he clicks on carrier HVAC and he sources the part. He's now going to source the part to his personal stockroom. So we're going to type in Matt. And it says personal stockroom, Matt Donovan. We're going to take in one quantity because that is what is required. I'm going to submit it. So now he travels to the warehouse and he's picked up the part and now it's available in his personal stockroom. So now if we go into the parts, we see that the reserve quantity is now 1. That means he is now available of a compressor unit in his personal stockroom. Now he's going to start traveling to the location. He's going to start traveling. And once he's reached the location, he's going to start his work. And as mentioned before closing out the work order, there is a checklist that he needs to complete. So there is an HVAC checklist. He completes these checklists and submits it. You can now see that the completed checklist has the HVAC completion from Matt. Now, while he was doing the checklist, he noticed that there was, let's say, the copper wire, as mentioned before, has been overused. So we are trying to show proactive case creation or proactive work order creation. So what he is going to do is, he's going to close complete this task, saying compressor fixed. He closes the task. Now, as mentioned, to create that work order, he goes to asset lookup and he tags the asset. We can see that it's a carrier HVAC split system that has been tagged to it. He can click on that and he can create a work order. He can say copper wire being overused, needs immediate attention. And done. So this now either gets assigned automatically based on dynamic scheduling to the agent, or it gets assigned to Simon, who then manually assigns it using dispatcher workspace to the right agent with the right location or the right part. So this is all that Matt has to do based on his business case.
As a recap, the first use case you saw was for residential life services, which was done from a student perspective and based completely on a mobile application. And you also saw a classroom break fix, specifically HVAC, which involved both the faculty member initiating the activity from a desktop and then subsequently involved a dispatcher and the agent and included a dashboard so you can get a feel for what could be used for both reporting as well as performance analytics. So how do we bring this all together into a unified solution? I had mentioned early on that we talked about Upstart, which again is a pre-configured product set that includes accelerators that we use to bring you, the higher education institution, online and using the solution quickly. What you'll see on this slide are the scoping components we used for this particular MVP. Please note that this can be scoped on a case-by-case basis using both your standard operating procedures and needs. Whatever the most important aspects are to the university and the licensing owned or desired by the institution. We've also included a high-level project plan so that you can see the effort is about 10 weeks, and then we do have 4 weeks of hypercare. The hypercare component is designed to be flexible to ensure the project is brought to completion successfully. We look forward to answering any questions you may have, and thank you again from both ServiceNow and ProV International.